Welcome to the second part of our mini-series examining the women as background decoration trope in video games.
Why, thank you, Anita, but seriously, the pleasure is all mine.
I need to stress that this video comes with a content warning and is not recommended for children. The game footage I'll be showcasing will be particularly graphic and include scenes of extreme violence against women.
Hey, Anita, if I can just stop you there. You might want to put in a content warning for male violence as well, because some of the men in this video are going to go through a lot more pain than any woman that you're going to show. I can guarantee that. Anyway, welcome everybody. This isn't Creationist of the Week, or those biology videos I'm working on, or anything actually good. This is bullshit I have to refute. For the past few years or so, groups and communities like gaming or atheism have been slowly but surely co-opted by the likes of social justice warriors like self-proclaimed feminist Anita Sarkeesian. As someone with a personal interest and long-standing history with gaming, and as a gamer, it's been bothering me that social justice warriors and their rhetoric have been negatively influencing game development and outright controlling games journalism more and more over the past few years. And I've decided it's time I helped brilliant YouTubers like Thunderfoot and Internet Aristocrat in the fight against it. This is Anita's latest video on misogynistic tropes in video games. Let's dig in a little deeper and see what she has to say.
I define the women as background decoration trope as the subset of largely insignificant, non-playable female characters whose sexuality or victimhood is exploited as a way to infuse edgy, gritty, or racy flavoring into game worlds. These sexually objectified female bodies are designed to function as environmental texture, while titillating presumes...
Titillating? What the so, as you can see, today's episode of Anita Says is about insignificant women being exploited to add to a game's setting and or gameplay in a purely sexual or victimized way. This would be fine. This does happen, and it's not necessarily a bad or good thing. Perhaps games could be more creative and expressive, and perhaps there's no better way to do it. But that's a different argument for another day. But that's not where Anita stops. She continues to state that these women only serve as environmental texture and are there to titillate straight males. Now, I don't know about you, but that sounds a little assumptive. Maybe begging the question a little bit. The point is, Anita's dishonestly adding to her definition to instantly assume the motives of developers who do use the trope and easily demonize them as a result. But whatever, that's nothing compared to what's next.
In this episode, we will expand our discussion of the women as background decoration trope to examine how sexualized female bodies often occupy a dual role as both sexual playthings and the perpetual victims of male violence.
Are you here for the whore?
Are you dating me?
I have your money. Let her go. No! Take it up with Cesare!
Okay, so there's a seemingly innocent scene from Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Not a bad game. Got a little bit of fun out of it. But Anita's got some kind of problem with it. Let's see if we can analyze the scene using our inner pop culture critic and find the issue. So, Ezio's walking up to the bad guys. Oh, misogynistic slur. We got a woman in captivity.
Have your money.
Oh, and Ezio's using his money to free the girl. What a bloke. Legend.
Let her go.
Letting her go. He's advocating the woman's freedom. Oh, and the bad guy. Oh, the bad guys betrayed him, and he now has the opportunity to exact revenge. I didn't see a problem with that. I mean, it happened then. That stuff really would have happened back then. It probably still happens in human trafficking rings and also that sort of shady shit today. But to get mad about a set of polygons shaped like a man doing it to a set of polygons shaped like a woman, rather than getting mad about the real men doing it to real women in real life, is just plain ridiculous. We're going to see a bit more of this in Assassin's Creed. Anita just loves to hate on Assassin's Creed. But not just yet. We've got some more basic examples from other games that Anita wants us to see.
The use of sexual or domestic violence as a form of scaffolding to prop up dark and edgy environments has become a pervasive pattern in modern gaming.
Well, if it isn't the long-lost Andrew Ryan. Come here, tiger.
The use of gore and hospital trauma as a form of scaffolding to prop up dark and edgy environments has been a trend in games, especially survival horror games. Silent Hill was one of the first games to do it.
What is this?
But I don't see you going on about that, Anita.
What's going on?
What gives?
Developers regularly utilize the brutalization of women's bodies, and especially the bodies of female prostitutes, as an indicator of just how harsh, cruel, and unforgiving their game worlds are.
Yeah. No, totally right. Just look at this clip of Grand Theft Auto 5. I'm gonna look away because it's so horrible. Oh.
Trevor! I'm talking to you, motherfucker!
Are you? What are you saying?
Fucking my girl, man. It's wrong.
Well, I gotta fuck someone. You want me to fuck you instead? Is that the problem here? Take off your pants, cowboy, alright? Let's fuck.
You think this is funny?
Get them off!
Oops! Oh, that was the wrong clip. It looks like that was a man being sexually humiliated and emasculated. But I'm sure that was a one-off, just a, outlier. That doesn't normally happen. It's normally against women. So let's dig a little deeper into Grand Theft Auto 5 and see the very real and very overwhelming misogyny.
He reminds me of one of those guys you see advertising pills for middle-aged men that can't get erections.
Oh shit. Oh no, it happened again. Silly me. Let's try again. I just know we have the right clip. A clip of women being brutalized. Keep going.
You'll barely feel a thing.
I will! No! I got brittle bones!
The breaker!
Oh, fuck. No. Oh, that was a man being castrated with a wrench against his will for no reason. But surely that's okay with Anita, because now he can be more like women and better himself, distancing himself from the patriarchy. But that's the cis white male in me talking. Come on, let's try one last time. Surely we have a clip of women, alive or dead, being beaten up in Grand Theft Auto 5.
Shit, please!
Oh, we don't have it. We have two men being sexually humiliated, an innocent man losing his testicles and probably penis, and the same man having his nipples electrocuted, and we haven't even scratched the surface. Anything close to misogyny involving women is non-violent and satirical in nature, or is completely optional.
We are women, we are free, we're bringing an end to the patriarchy. We are women, hear our pain. We are women, hear our shout. We are women, have no doubt. We are women, we are free. We are
Shut the fuck up!
I'll quickly show you one more scene of how much shit happens to men in Grand Theft Auto 5.
Stay there. Please don't put a gang symbol on me. How about I throw those 3 little pubic hairs on here, too? There we go. Nice.
You got like a camera phone or a mirror I can...
Oh, yeah, I'll get you a mirror. Smash you over the head with it. That's better. Snip, snip.
Scripted events are typically not part of the game's main storyline.
You stupid.
Anita, this is why you need to actually research and maybe have a genuine interest in gaming if you don't intend to embarrass yourself. The main story of a video game is entirely scripted. Entirely. 100% of it has been fully coded, scripted, and written. What you mean to say are randomly generated events. Silly Anita. Have a sticker, you adorable little idiot.
Returning to Rockstar's Red Dead Redemption. In most settlement areas, players are treated to randomly triggered events in which female prostitutes are assaulted and murdered by Johns amid a torrent of misogynistic slurs. Players are presented with the choice to either intervene and save the woman for a small cash reward, or simply watch the attack play out in front of them as part of the entertainment.
Help! Someone!
In Grand Theft Auto V, one such chance encounter features a scene evocative of sexual assault, in which a young woman is being attacked and held down by two men on the side of the road.
Get off of me, you old pervert!
Walk away! Don't make this your problem!
The player can rescue her by killing her assailants, or simply watch the scene play out in front of them. These vignettes are not major plot points. Instead, violence against women is essentially used as a set piece to establish or punctuate the seedy atmosphere of crime and chaos-ridden fictional universes.
So, same deal as Assassin's Creed. Violence happens to women, therefore misogyny. It doesn't matter what the context is. Context is for cishets and white males. Or the fact, it doesn't matter the fact that the game encourages you to protect or avenge the woman in question either. No, women die, and that's automatically evil, and proof of the misogynistic patriarchy. How profound and insightful of you, Anita.
It's worth noting that there are striking tonal and thematic similarities between female victims used as background decoration and other tropes we've discussed in previous episodes. The second installment in the Assassin's Creed series, for instance, features a sequence called Damsels in Distress, in which the player must hunt down a man who has murdered a female prostitute.
Come, join us, Ezio. Have a drink. Meet the ladies.
Murderer! Butcher! He sliced Lucia and stole her money!
So, Messer Ezio, let's see just how talented you are. After him!
During the sequence, the killer will run and take a courtesan hostage.
Don't come any closer, or I will carve up another one.
If the player gets too close, the assailant will slit her throat and run.
Okay, again, this is a case of bad guy does bad guy things, therefore oppression. Anita forgets the context completely and ignores one little detail. You are told by the game how to take down the murderer and warned not to do it any other way.
If the player gets too close, the assailant will slit her throat.
I'm sorry you failed, Anita, but maybe you should practice these video gizmo things a little more before you blame the consequences of your inability to follow instructions on Ubisoft. The pixely blood of those women is on your hands, you misogynistic fucker. From now on, anytime Anita uses Assassin's Creed, can we automatically just say she's wrong? I mean, she consistently takes the games out of context without fail and spins the context as far as it takes to get whatever picture she wants. It's Hitman Absolution all over again.
On a shallow surface level, these vignettes seem to contextualize violence against women in a negative light. However, these narratives are never really about the abused women in question. Instead, depictions of female pain and victimhood are flippantly summoned to serve as sideshow attractions and storylines about other things altogether. In Ubisoft's Watch Dogs, scripted crime events randomly generate throughout the game's open-world environment, some of which graphically depict incidents of domestic violence.
So you think you can just leave me?
Jesus, you need to stop following me.
Come on, babe, don't be like that.
I've had it with you. You're nuts.
That's it. I've had it with your lip.
Don't!
I'll teach you.
These scenes are programmed to repeat themselves randomly dozens of times during gameplay.
You think you're leaving me? Huh?
Jesus, you need to stop following me.
I'm not done with you. Not yet.
You need to get out of here right now!
No game mechanics are provided to call an EMT, administer first aid, or check in on the victim.
Oh, okay, so Anita is angry that Watch Dogs doesn't contain advanced mechanics for assisting female victims of abuse. Now, Watch Dogs isn't exactly the most polished game in the world. It was delayed for 2 years, and even downgraded. To expect anything like the ability to call an ambulance in it is plain unreasonable. Just look at how bad the main gameplay is. Not even these side quests, the main story gameplay. Watch this.
Hey, look at this reflection of the highway. When we're in a hotel parking lot. Even Deadly Premonition had reflections, you fucking morons. I might have misstepped here. Hold on.
Oh!
Run this picnic table under any circumstance and let this happen. Let me just casually walk over this birthday cake that you worked so hard to make, sis. He doesn't go anywhere else, he just does this. Oh, he's doing his leg exercises. See, he steps on the chair and then he steps off. He steps up, he steps off.
Seriously, the main game is a fucking wreck, and you want them to focus on one single type of randomly generated side event out of many that absolutely nobody bought the game for. We haven't even gotten to the context of the game. We're not even mentioning that your character can't call an ambulance because he wants to remain completely anonymous. The simple fact is that this feature would have been impossible to include, considering the incompetence already shown by the developer. I will say that you can call an ambulance in GTA 5, and you could potentially help a victim of violence in the game by calling the ambulance. But when Watch Dogs fails to do that, Anita just jumps on it. How fair.
Meaning that these female characters exist to be assaulted, in order to give the player something to do, a reason to chase down the bad guy, exact vigilante justice on him, and gain the allotted experience points.
And I don't see the problem with that. My character is an anonymous vigilante. I expect to be able to chase down criminals, and I expect those criminals to have some kind of diversity in the crimes that they commit. Sorry, Anita, but unless you beg the question like you did from the very start, Watch Dogs, as poorly made as it is completely innocent as far as this is concerned.
Plot devices that capitalize on female trauma for shock value function in much the same way as the hitting a child or kicking the dog tropes do.
No one defies Thag the Impatient.
There, you happy now?
It's casual cruelty, implemented as an easy way to deliver a quick emotional punch to the player, by presenting attacks on characters specifically designed to appear pitifully vulnerable.
Again, the kick the dog trope is fine, and so is the women as background decoration trope. As long as it remains just a story and these women remain polygons or pixels on my TV, there is really no harm. There's nothing wrong with depicting violence in fiction, especially when it's referencing things that happened in the real world. In the Renaissance, women got cut up. It happened. Today in Chicago, women are probably getting raped in the street. In Southern California, women get raped. It happens. And trying to force video games to pretend it doesn't is actually counterproductive to feminism and gender equality. It's no different to saying race is only a problem because we keep talking about racism.
These women and their bodies are sacrificed in the name of infusing mature themes into gaming stories. But there's nothing mature about flippantly evoking shades of female trauma. It ends up sensationalizing an issue which is painfully familiar to a large percentage of women on this planet, while also normalizing and trivializing their experiences.
Yeah, let's look at Metal Gear Rising. The game sacrifices men, children, and their bodies in the name of infusing mature themes into its story. But there's nothing mature about flippantly cutting up dozens and dozens of soldiers. Soldiers who have no choice but to join a PMC because of the war economy that exists in the Metal Gear Solid universe. Look at this awful, awful stuff.
Heavy strikes to match the situation. Take self-repair units from your foes to replenish your own supply. Right it. Nice try! Right it. It's on the...
Grand Theft Auto 4 requires the player to kidnap a woman.
Stop this thing, you slime bag!
Stop being such a fucking bitch! Calm the fuck down, or little birdies will be eating your brains off the dashboard tomorrow morning.
During this mission, the protagonist character insults her and beats her unconscious.
You're fucking with the wrong girl, asshole. I am Gracie Ancelotti, and I...
Shut up! Peace at last.
Later, the game instructs players to smack her in the face before taking a ransom photo.
Come on, Gracie. I want you looking pretty for the photo.
Oh wait! The same thing happens to a man in another part of Grand Theft Auto 4.
All you Europeans got the same fucking accent. I think he's trying to say something, Malcolm.
I can get money!
I don't know. I ain't hearing shit. Get your ass back here! You ain't a difficult target to hit, Mr. Bellic.
I nearly had you, buddy. You got to admit that.
You should apologize for that smell. You shot yourself or something? God damn!
Sorry for shooting myself! And for laughing and bruising balls!
Lord Kratos, no. Please. Please, leave me be. I beg of you. Show mercy.
Hold your tongue.
God of War 3 is an awesome game. That's all that needs to be said. Keep going, Anita. Let's find something that isn't repetitive and boring.
All of this is designed to convey that the protagonist is a ruthless, unfeeling, morally corrupt character who is capable of anything. Again, we see female bodies sacrificed as a way to justify the ever more gruesome and extreme violence the player must commit throughout the game. Some games that capitalize on scenes of sexual violence do so gleefully, while other titles may attempt to frame it as something inexorably tragic. But simply presenting depictions of women being abused, despondent, or suicidal does nothing to make them less sexually objectified, and does nothing to change patterns of perpetual victimhood. There's a clear difference between replicating something and critiquing it. It's not enough to simply present misery as miserable and exploitation as exploitative. Reproduction is not, in and of itself, a critical commentary.
Except that it can be. Presenting misery as miserable and exploitation as exploitative can give the player a more informed idea or an entirely new perspective of a concept, allowing them to decide for themselves what the right answer is and how they feel. And this ambiguous criticism can often be the best kind of criticism. It doesn't strongly push an agenda, and yet it promotes educated opinions on real issues. Watch Dogs tries to portray sex slave rings so we can see for ourselves what they really are and how we feel about it. Grand Theft Auto 4 shows us people kidnapping other people to escape their own debts, so we can see how we feel about that. Whether these reproductions are accurate or over the top is another question. point is that they're effective critiques because they don't simply spell it out, like Anita wants.
A critique must actually center on characters exploring, challenging, changing, or struggling with oppressive social systems.
Yeah, but only so much of that can occur in one game. Grand Theft Auto 5 makes brilliant commentaries about government corruption. I'm sorry, violence against women wasn't on the top of their to-do list, but I would think that someone like yourself would take what they can get. But of course, you're a social justice warrior, and the rules of the game are, I always win, because check your privilege.
The truth is that these games do not expose some kind of gritty reality of women's lives, or sexual trauma, but instead sanitize violence against women and make it comfortably consumable. Now, to be clear, I'm certainly not saying stories seriously examining the issues surrounding domestic or sexual violence are off limits for interactive media. However, if game makers do attempt to address these themes, they need to approach the topic with the subtlety, gravity, and respect that the subject deserves. Though not about the abuse of women, the 2012 indie title Papo Yo is an example of a game that respectfully deals with the very serious issue of alcoholism and domestic violence against children. The game does so by telling its story from the point of view of a protagonist directly affected by the trauma of abuse, not someone on the outside coming to their rescue. It focuses on the journey of a figure who is struggling through a traumatic situation and attempting to deal with the repercussions of violence. It makes that struggle to cope and survive central to both the narrative and gameplay, not peripheral set dressing to a story about something else. And critically, the game employs powerful metaphoric imagery to make its point instead of relying solely on sensationalized or exploitative depictions of the abuse itself. Papo Yo is an intense and at times gut-wrenching game that doesn't sugarcoat or glamorize violence. In this way, it's an honest and emotionally resonant experience for players.
Papo Yo. Oh yeah, that PS3 exclusive indie game that nobody played. You see, Anita, mild criticism of sexual violence in the games that people actually play, like Watch Dogs and Assassin's Creed, is always going to be better than what you consider proper criticism in games that nobody will play. There is a reason Papo Yo was an indie title, and if I had to guess, it wasn't because the developers thought it was such a great game that it needed to remain their intellectual property in case it became the next Call of Duty. No, I bet that everyone, even Sony, refused to publish it because a linear puzzle game is not a very fun or creative or interesting idea, no matter how deep its artistic concepts and themes get. So no, don't suggest that games should be more like Papo Yo, because that'll lead to the video game crash of 2015. Or is that what you want to happen, Anita? No, what you should do is hope a game like Grand Theft Auto 6 or Watch Dogs 2 or maybe even Call of Duty 12 chooses to make women's issues its main theme, if you care so much.
We must remember that games don't just entertain. Intentional or not, they always express a set of values and present us with concepts of normalcy. So what do games that casually rely on depictions of female victimhood tell us about women vis-a-vis their place in society? Well, the pattern of utilizing women as background decoration works to reinforce the myth that women are naturally fated to be objectified, vulnerable, and perpetually victimized by male violence.
Please, Anita, tell me what values and concept of normalcy Doom or Ridge Racer Revolution or Fez presents, and then we'll talk. Games can and often do have subtext and complex artistic and intellectual meanings behind them, and do make social commentary, but to say that they always do and that they always try to argue for what should be normal and always succeed in affecting our views on what is normal is bullshit. I never got the impression that rape is normal when I played Watch Dogs. I never got the impression that segregation or racism is correct when I played Killzone Shadowfall, and I never got the impression that chasing down demons with a super shotgun is normal when I played Doom. I played God of War 2 when I was 10 years old. I played San Andreas when I was 8 years old. I played Metal Gear Solid and Silent Hill 3 when I was 6 years old, and they didn't have any effect on my understanding or beliefs about the world. Because in the 13 years, or more, that I've been playing video games, I've always known that they are just games. Games I have to beat and complete. And it's no surprise that someone who doesn't like video games, and openly admits that, doesn't even understand that much. I'm sorry I had to make this video, whether you enjoyed it or not. It saddens me to see that people like Anita Sarkeesian and Rebecca Watson are shamelessly trying to destroy the communities that make people's hobbies so much more fun in the name of their shitty agenda. I feel I have to further discredit these phonies who are advocating not for social justice, but the right to control media for their purposes. I probably will be responding to future videos from Anita though, but not for a while. I've got way more important projects for my channel that I'd rather be working on. I've already got a final script for my first biology video, so look out for it. Until next time.
You think it's clever to disrespect women?
Disrespect? What? I wasn't disrespecting. I was just saying we should kill her.
You called her a bitch! Ain't you got a mother?